very timely. The month of March holds a lot of promises for women around the globe, including Nigerian women. Let me therefore start by wishing all of you a belated Happy International Women's Day and Happy Women's Month. I want to commend your group for taking an interest in our national development and advancement by adding your platform to demand for increase in women's participation in governance and decision-making at all levels. Women are a credible force in strengthening our democracy and promoting the culture of peace and food security. I am most grateful for the role women have played and continue to play in our government. Their contributions are valuable in sustaining our socio-economic fabric from the corridors of decision-making to our rural communities. This administration places a premium on promoting women's inclusiveness in national development, as we have demonstrated with those holding key portfolios in this administration. They include the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Minister of Women's Affairs, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Minister of State for Environment, Minister of State for Transportation, Minister of State for Federal Capital Territory, Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Chair, Federal Character Commission, Managing Director, Nigerian Post Authority, and others. The theme of this year's International Women's Day, Women in Leadership, Achieving an Equal Future in a Coronavirus World, calls for more concerted efforts, and Nigeria is more than ever committed to join in raising the bar for women's representation at all levels. This administration has demonstrated this by engaging in intense diplomacy to support the aspirations of Nigerian women to provide leadership and at the global stage. I am very proud of the achievements of my former Minister for Environment and United Nations Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed, Fatima Mohammed Kari as the African Union Permanent Observer to the United Nations, and the newly elected Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. We will continue to support them to succeed, and we shall continue to advocate our women who qualify to lead international fora. In the wake of the coronavirus pandemic and its attendant problems, including the spike in gender-based violence, this administration promptly responded by declaring zero tolerance to gender-based violence in the country. I have since directed the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, in collaboration with the Minister of Women's Affairs, to immediately inaugurate an interministerial gender-based violence management committee to address all forms of violence against women and children in the country. This body is already in place and running. In addition, I have approved that 45% of the small and medium-scale enterprise funds be reserved exclusively for women, with 5% goes to other vulnerable groups. This, apart from the immediate relatives targeting them. We have also expanded our social intervention programs to further address the needs of the most vulnerable women in our society. Education of the girl child and the empowerment of mothers are fundamental to achieving an increase in the number of female leaders in the country and our objective of lifting 100 million of our citizens out of poverty in 10 years. At the commissioning of the Ministry of Women's Affairs headquarters building in January 2020, I had pledged to address child marriage and boost girl-child education across the country. This is born out of my concern on the increasing number of our out-of-school children in the country. This government would sustain ongoing efforts to address this issue. I am aware that given the size of our population, more can be done to improve the participation of Nigerian women in politics and in seeking elective office. The twin evils of limited access to education and poverty and gender-based violence remains a strong inhibitor. However, our resolve remains unshaken in tackling these issues. Despite the spike of incidents of abduction of school children and other security challenges, this government remains resolute in its pursuit of a just and credible society devoid of inequalities and promotion of the rule of law. Let me assure you all that we remain committed to working with groups such as yours to address these challenges. As a leader of the governing party, I will lend my voice to the amendment of the party constitution, which is ongoing now and is the entry point for effective and meaningful participation of women in elective offices. Once again, thank you for your efforts and support to our women. Let me conclude by recommending that in your specific area of advocacy, which is increasing women's participation in electoral processes through legal reforms, I will ask the Ministries of Women Affairs and Justice to work with the National Assembly to ensure necessary reforms are passed in the ongoing constitutional and electoral reform processes. Thank you, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The President's directives have to be acted on promptly. As I'm living here, I'm going straight to the Attorney General of the Federation to alert him, and I'm sure the Chief of Staff will send in an official letter directing him on Mr. President's directive.
How does that make you feel?
I feel overwhelmed with joy. I feel elated on behalf of Nigerian women, and I believe that the more we have women in elective positions, the better for this country. Nigerian women have proved their worth. They can do better. They can contribute their quota to national development, and all developed countries have succeeded due to women's participation. Nigeria cannot be left out of it. Mr. President has made a historic statement today, and I believe that God will see him through to the completion of his tenure in good health, and this is a legacy that he will leave on the sands of history.
This is not the first time this is being said. We've had pushes like this in the past. What gives you the confidence that this is going to go through?
This will be different by the grace of God. Mr. President is a man of his words. The two constitutional amendments are ongoing. The party constitutional amendment is ongoing. He has told us that he will lend his voice. The Nigerian constitutional amendment is ongoing in the National Assembly. He has directed that we should, myself and the Attorney General should liaise with the National Assembly. I believe he will also speak with the Senate President and the Speaker. I trust Mr. President, and I know that he will leave a legacy that will stand the test of time in this country on women issues. Thank you.
Yeah.
5% equality action and so many other
Yeah,
things
yeah.
that help equality grow. Do you think this time around this push is for real?
Yeah, I think it's very, very necessary. I think Mr. President has promised, and we're hoping for a very favorable response. But from what he said, I think he's really committed to engage the parties and also the Ministry of Women Affairs, and also all the necessary people that are going to be in the position to add this to the Constitution and add this to whatever new package they'll have for women. So I'm looking forward to a very favorable response. And this has been great today, and you know, I'm optimistic. Yeah, it's high time.
How do you think
Don't
women
it?
will impact on politics?
I think women have a very, very they have soul, if you understand what I'm saying. So I think if we have more women in the system, it's going to shift a whole lot of balance of stuff. You get some things where men hardness today, you know, they allow them to think out. So I think you know, now Nigeria and I be there, they understand this one too. You know, so for me, I think, you know, it will go a long way. You know, we need more women in the system, and we will see a whole lot of difference once that happens.
Thank you.
So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.